But go watch that Kwangdong Freaks game because it's absolutely hilarious because they have an Ash, right, Kwangdong, and they don't know where Peanut is. So he's doing this wacky pathing, and you see this hawk shot like fly across the map, and they check like the Gen.G side of the jungle, and they don't see Poppy, and they see the camps up. And so all of a sudden, all of these like Kwangdong Freaks question mark pings come on their side of the jungle because they're obviously like, where the fuck is this guy right now? Oh. And then you see the question marks, and then immediately hexflash behind them is a Poppy, and it is one of the funniest fucking things you can watch.
It's like a horror movie, you know where they do the jump scare with the cat first. So you go, off, it was just a cat, but then the guy does come out with the axe, like this like that. You know?
Hey everyone, this is MonteCristo. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today here on the Insight on Esports channel, and that's analyzing gameplay with footage for once. And we'll take a look at a couple of games from Gen.G, and particularly Peanut, who has been very creative and kind of crazy, a psychopath, if you will, for Gen.G, and his psychopathing is what we're going to investigate, especially when it comes to blue side starts on red buff. He's been able to pull off some really good invades and tower dives. I do not recommend doing this in your game because it requires a high degree of coordination with your team, but it sure is fun to watch. And we're going to start with Gen.G's game versus Hanwha Life, where Peanut completely decimates on Fleek. Here we are in game one of Gen.G versus Hanwha Life, where you're going to see Peanut absolutely decimate on Fleek in the Wukong versus Vi matchup due to some smart pathing, some intelligent rune choices that really affect the outcome, as well as big help from his teammates pushing in mid and bot lane and actively harassing their lane opponents. It opens up so many opportunities for Peanut, and it shows why not only Peanut is having a great split so far, but Gen.G's coordination really has hit the next level. We're going to start this clip right at 1:30 when the first buffs spawn. As you can see, we are going to have Peanut starting at red buff, and we're going to have On Fleek starting over at the blue buff, both with leashes. This is a pretty standard start, obviously, but things are going to get weird pretty quickly. So let's get into the clip right now. So once we see the jungle start, now usually what you're going to see is Wukong starting with E and then going into Q. However, this time, Wukong's going to be starting E and then moving into W, which allows him, wait a second, to pass this wall in the dragon pit. We're going to see this in the next clip as well, but this is very important because he is not going to be caught by any potential wards that could be placed in this area or in this area at the level 1. Now, Vi, very important to talk about this matchup as well, because Vi has just used Smite, I think to kill the blue buff. We're not actually looking at it right now. Or to get some damage on the ground. Pretty sure to kill the blue buff. Vi usually starts W and E and will not have any form of crowd control, and usually uses her E charges quite quickly, meaning that she is an absolute sitting duck. You see the E charge used right there. There's the W. Gen.G Peanut gets here just in time to get this steal, leaving him with 8 CS to 4. This is going to be important because the team is going to track On Fleek's CS in order to help Peanut make decisions. So right here, remember, On Fleek has no Q as Vi at the current time, not going to have to use the flash, and Peanut's W is going to come off cooldown right now so that he can continue this harassment before he heads over to the wolves. On Fleek's obviously really screwed in this situation. No more refillable potion charges at all, trying to find a way that he can get a camp on the map here. But Peanut's not going to let him have anything. So Peanut will go after the wolves, Vi going to move over to the raptors. However, Peanut realizes that he's going to be able to use his W to only take a single turret shot. Keep in mind too, Karis is very low on HP right now. Chovy is putting a lot of pressure on in the mid lane, and Peanut's a level up, On Fleek's very injured. So they cannot, Hanwha Life cannot win this 2v2 under these conditions. On Fleek still going to be hurting, doesn't have a smite to gain more HP, and so has to give up the raptors and find a different place to go in the jungle. Notice also that bottom lane is pushing in favor of Gen.G. This will become very consequential. Ruler is going to take a back, but this frees up Lehens in order to go to the crab at spawn here in just a second. OnFleek is going to path over to the enemy raptors and try and take those, meaning that OnFleek, crucially, will be at 8 CS after this. Lehens goes up, checks out the mid lane, makes sure it's clear, is just covering right now as Chovy pushes up. They don't necessarily know where Vi is at the present time, while Peanut goes ahead and does his topside jungle. During the recall for Ruler, we're going to see Lehens try, of course, to take this Scuttle Crab. OnFleek is going to walk up and smite it. Now, keep in mind, that's OnFleek's second smite. Smite now going to be on cooldown. Again, this will be important in just a minute. Lehens is going to see the 12 CS from Vi, and is also going to see that the Raptor camp has been taken. This information, because you know that the camps that OnFleek have done have been blue. You got the Grump smited away, so not that one. Raptors and the crab in the bottom river. Now what this means, Peanut knows OnFleek hasn't backed, so he doesn't have items. And he also knows that the red buff is still going to be up on Hanwha Life's side, so he immediately goes for that instead to continue denying OnFleek and grow his advantage more and more. Again, here's the harassment. OnFleek can't do anything. Peanut's going to be full HP because he heals a lot off of the passive. Also, OnFleek can't stay and fight this because he doesn't have smite. Peanut does. This is going to be Peanut's third smite that's up because he has the rune Cosmic Insight, which gives him summoner spell haste, so he knows that he can win a smite fight here as well. Doesn't have to use that, but it's just a way that he is going to get incremental advantages and know exactly which fights he is going to be able to take. Now you're going to see him clear out the Krugs, and this is an absolutely huge CS difference at 4.5 minutes into this game. Peanut's up massively in terms of gold, in terms of experience. Vi goes back can only buy boots, which is incredibly painful. It means that this Vi is really never in this game at all. This is a rare level of dominance to see at the professional scene, and is reminiscent of actually what happened to Peanut in the semifinal match when Canyon completely jungle gapped him in the semifinals of spring. Now, Peanut still ended up winning that game. It was the infamous Canyon Italy game where gold bounties kind of screwed them. But in this game, Hanwha Life cannot come back. You guys can check this game out. Really fun early game and really fun psychopathing here by Peanut. Moving on to the second game, we're going to see another blue side red buff start by Peanut. And again, we're going to see him hop over the Dragon Pit wall in order to make a play on the bottom side. Now, this is really important because Poppy has been one of the signature picks from Peanut so far this season. He's been the best Poppy player in the LCK, arguably the best Poppy player in the world. And he can do things with his teammates' coordination, such as run phase rush on Poppy and critically hexflash, which is going to come into play here in just a little bit to make some absolutely amazing plays that you will only see at the professional level. We're going to start at 130 again in this VOD and kick it off to see a leash coming in by Ruler and Lehens. Again, he wants to avoid any level 1 wards that could have been placed at either of the normal choke points, and he's going to dedicate his flash early on. This means that Ruler and Lehens are going to be playing further back. They want to get pushed in right now. Also notice the deep ward at the red buff. They tracked Viego's pathing up to Krugs, so Peanut knows that Viego is not going to be here anytime soon, and he has a few moments in order to get some levels and make a play. Meanwhile, Ruler and Lehens on the Ezreal and the Renata Glask are going to be pushed in, generally speaking anyway, especially considering they're playing into the Kalista and the Ashe, and they want this to happen. Peanut going to come in now at level 2, take the Gromp, and then, based off of this camp, will hit level 3 and have access to level 1 in each of his abilities. Hoyt's going to put out the Hawk Shot. They don't know where Peanut is. And this is the moment of truth. Great job by the LCK observers to toggle Fog of War right here. because they don't see Peanuts at his blue buff, which means that there is a massive problem. And here's where the question mark pings come in. Question mark right here. Viego doesn't know where he is. Poppy is about to come over this wall with a hex flash against the pushed up lane. Now, Teddy and Hoyt are obviously very nervous in the situation, but the timing is just absolutely perfect. Here from Peanut, Viego cannot get there in time. And here we go. Peanut just going to simply push them back. Teddy has to use the flash, is going to die anyway. First blood in what should be a pushed-in losing lane, all because of Peanut's pathing. And now Kwangdong Freaks, they had the advantage of having the Hawk shot here, so it was less surprising than perhaps it could have been. But the moment of pure comedy when the Hawk shot comes out and the red question marks coming in really can't be beat. Now, this play also is going to shape the next match that Gen.G played, which was against T1, where you can see that they've had enough of Peanut's shenanigans. This is just a quick hit into Gen.G versus T1 Game 1 to see that Gen.G really did their prep based off of the last couple of games that we've been talking about. Again, we're going to start at about 120 here, so a little bit earlier. But notice critically, again, Peanut is on the blue side, going to be starting at the red buff, but here's the difference. Right here, there is a ward placed right at the entrance to the dragon pit, so that should Peanut flash this wall, they will immediately know what he's doing. Again, not on the Wukong where he could take the W as his second ability, but will be on the Poppy with the Hex Flash again. So this preparation, while it doesn't happen in this game, proves absolutely necessary to T1 as an adaptation to Gen.G's playstyle. Gen.G did end up winning this game very hard anyway. If you haven't seen this series, it is absolutely worth a look. But fun to see these adaptations over time as teams discover each other's styles. Thanks a lot for joining me today. I hope you appreciated our first episode here of Psychopathing, showing some really fun jungle paths that you cannot take into solo queue, but you can appreciate the beauty and splendor of them at the professional level done by great teams like Gen.G. Remember to leave a comment and subscribe if you like this content. We'll be back with all of our regular shows, Summoning Insight, Best Damn League show, and the Monty and Wolf show covering LCK for the remainder of the split, and even many of these shows through Worlds. So you'll want to subscribe right now.